Okay, so we're here with Stone Edge Surfaces. We are going to mix up some Pro Wall Mix today for a scratch coat. And I have my water set up for usage in the mix, and I also have a water set up so I can clean my drill after I'm done. So each bag of wall mix basically takes somewhere around 6+ quarts of water. And the reason I say that is we're going to start with about 6, and then we're going to work our way to the correct consistency for doing either stamping or troweling or throwing or shooting out of a hopper gun. And then we'll have a different little bit of consistency for doing a scratch coat. So I'm going to start.
Do you have to do more than just water with wall mix?
You do not. It is a one-step program, one component only. Got my wall mix gray. I'm going to turn my drill down a little bit so I don't slosh everything around. One of the main things you do is you always put your water in first, then put the dry mix in secondary so that it's easier to work the dry mix down into the water. Now that I've got most of the water first, I'm going to speed it up. And give it a little bit of time, because it takes just a few seconds for it to start to become a little bit of a thinner viscosity to know if you need to add some more water or not. So right now, of course, it's very granular. You've never used the wall mix in this manner. But I can speed it up, get it close. So, starting where I did, that's a very chunky mix. You'd never use it like that. So of course, I'm gonna start working a little bit more mix, about a cup at a time, until I get to where I need to get to for my first batch, and then I'll add more. Oh, I'm getting much wetter now, and I'm getting a little bit closer. All right, now, as you can see, it's really starting to kind of congeal together and have a little bit more fluidity to it. So what I'm going to do is stop for a second, test it. I use my fingers, closed hand. I'm not opening my fingers, I'm using them closed. I'll come down in the mix. I use it sideways and upside down. If it doesn't fall off my hand, guys, it's not going to fall off the wall. So trust it, okay? Now, that being said, we're in a faucet period right now. This mix is acting like a sponge, and every bit of water in there is expanding into the sands and all the components. So you want to give that a couple minutes to do its thing, faucet, slake off, whatever somebody might call it, then come back, retemper it, maybe with a little bit more water, boom, then you can go use it on the wall, and it's much easier to trowel, throw, or shoot. I'm going to grab a pool trowel real quick, or a Martin trowel, so I can clean the edges of the bucket. Kind of clean the edges so that I can get any dry mix off the bottom, around the edges. Now, I'll add a little bit more wall mix. A little bit water, apologize. And see how it's kind of falling off of the edges of the bucket down towards the center as I go around? Now, as I come up to the center, look at that nice smooth tunnel with my drill. I go to kick it, look how it collapses. So I know I have a nice malleable product. So I'm going to test it one more time with my fingers. Sideways, not slumping. Upside down, fell off. So give it a second to hydrate. Once it hydrates, you'll know if you need a little bit more water. Boom. Sideways, upside down. If it hangs on your hand, it'll hang on the wall. Make sure your fingers are closed when you grab the mix. Don't go in there and squeeze mix in. Keep your hand closed when you go in. Okay? All right. And there you have it. That's about the consistency that you have for applying on the wall for vertical stamping. Okay, guys, so when you're using Pro Wall Mix for a scratch coat, you'll mix your wall mix up as you normally would, like we've done before, with about 6 quarts of water, adding a little bit until we get our consistency, which is really what we have right now. So if I know I have what I need for the consistency for stamping, if we're doing a scratch coat, and I know I'm going thin, I'm going a little bit fast, I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Doesn't take much. Maybe a cup at the most. Mix that up and then go work with it on the wall. Even at this consistency, this would probably be the wettest that you would ever have your Pro Wall Mix for stamping on the wall. Still have a smooth tunnel, still collapses, and still I'm able to put it in between my fingers and hold it upside down. Okay? If I can do that, again, it's going to hang on the wall. But it's just the viscosity is a little bit thinner for being able to do a scratch coat and having it hold. Okay, guys, so we're getting ready to apply our Pro Wall scratch coat, and I have my hawk and trowel here. I have a large type of soup ladle. I don't care what you use to be able to not break your back and be able to get it up on your hawk, but that's fine. But I'm just trying to put a thin coat so that I can scratch it with either a mastic rake or a notch trowel. Today I'm going to use the mastic rake, so I'm going to commence to applying a little bit of wall mix for scratch.
Did you have anything on the wall before the scratch coat?
Yes, I did. And as a matter of fact, what we did put on the wall was we put our Pro Bond Primer 100, I apologize, our liquid form. And again, we have our Primer 110, and we also have our Pro Bond cementitious mix that can be used with a loop roller. But I've already put the primer on, and it has gotten tacky. It may not be all the way dry, but that's okay. I'm using a trowel, I'm putting it tight, I'm just kind of smoothing it up for what I need. You can see how fluffy the mix is. I haven't wetted it out so much that I've ruined the integral makeup of the mix. Boom, just slide it right up. Now I've got to get everything around the top and the sides, so I just manipulate my trowel to be able to do that. Just a thin coat.
About how thin is that?
That's about, it's less than 1/8 of an inch. A little bit more, and then I can groove it to create my scratch coat. Boom. Yeah.
And why are you doing a scratch coat?
I am doing this scratch coat so that when we put our top layer of mix on the wall, which will probably be in excess of 1/2 inch, it'll help the material be anchored to the wall and grab on to this aggressive scratch that we're applying now. So I'm going to take a mastic rake, I'm going to moisten it with a little bit of water, and then I'm immediately going to hold it on an angle, and I'm going to slide it across the mix to create my grooves for my mix. Nice, aggressive scratch coat. That is what your material gets anchored into when you're applying your wall mix. A lot of guys try to use a broom, and it's just not aggressive enough. So we really try to get in there and create a nice, these are sharp ledges, as you notice. And that's why we like the square notch trowel or something that creates these horizontal lines that are very aggressive and have little ledges on them, so that when that hardens, We'll shoot that again a little bit with primer, roll that again with primer, and then we'll attach our top coat of mix to really crystallize and create an extreme bond. So no matter if you're doing 1/2 inch or you're doing something custom where you may be going 3 inches to create boulders or scenarios, it'll really be easy to grab and anchor into this scratch coat versus having to worry about it slumping, sagging, and everything that sometimes happens with other type of mixes. So that's your scratch coat, and later on we'll show you how to do a top coat.